First, if I can have you introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Bonnie Gross. I'm the writer and executive producer of Lady Parts. It's based off my own true story about moving home with my parents to get vaginal surgery. It's a comedy, you can laugh. Yes, where my vagina becomes a family affair.
And my name is Nancy Boyd, and I'm the director of Lady Parts, and we are so excited to be at Dances with Films.
That was going to be my question. How has that journey been for you here
Oh my
at Dances
goodness.
with Films?
Well, we've been in the festival circuit for about a year and a half now. We've taken it all over the country, and we've had such a good reception. We've won 5 audience awards, 2 jury awards. People love it. Cheers, girls' night. Maybe we'll all score tonight, Paige. Yeah. Cheers to getting played.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment. It's kind of like a knife sticking in kind of pain. Down there.
I had just gotten my uterus out and half my cervix from the cervical cancer, and I knew something was wrong.
I can't even talk to my husband about any of this.
Everything hurts. Tampons, tight pants, sex.
Your lady parts?
Are you telling me I've spent hundreds on tampons that weren't even being used?
Dad!
I'm on the other landline.
Word on the street is that Netflix is looking for a writer's assistant. Would you be interested?
They're not gonna hold this job for me for a year while I'm getting my vagina in working condition.
Paige? Hollywood Paige. Back in the 6'10"?
So you moved to LA for 5 years and then come back? I mean, there's got to be a reason.
Yeah. I had surgery.
People with anxiety tend to keep themselves overbooked. Have you tried yoga?
I can always do more.
Hey, if there's a book you want to read that hasn't been written, you have to write it.
You just come up with that?
No, that's a Toni Morrison quote. I heard it on a podcast last week.
Yeah, I know. Is anyone scared of saying the word vagina? Because we should just all say it together on 3. What?
What am I doing? Am I too big?
No.
It's great that our last festival is back in LA where we shot it, so it feels a very full circle moment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, like, this journey, I've been on this journey now for 8 years making this film. I got the surgery in 2016, started writing in 2017 in LA. Yeah. And so we shot in LA. We also shot in New York where, like, I actually got the surgery done. So, like, this has just been, like, such a full circle journey to be here at the Chinese Theater, showing it with Dances with Films, and then kind of just seeing the reception be so positive and seeing a packed theater and people really relating to the story and the characters. It's beautiful.
Do you find, you said the reception has been really wonderful and very supportive, correct? Do you find that because the audience was so receptive that perhaps we need more movies like this?
Oh, yes, we do. I think a lot of people are scared to make films about women, films by women, women's stories, because they think there's no audience for it. When I was pitching this originally as a TV pilot, I mean, so much of the feedback was like, I think it's too niche. And I'm like, at the end of the day, as much as this is about vaginas too, it's about family. It's a story about family dynamics and being comfortable with your own body. But, you know, if we just use the term vagina, like the fact that I can't even say the word vagina without getting bleeped out is insane. And, you know, we need more stories like this because visibility is so important. And, you know, I always say this is a film I wish I could have watched in 2016 when I was going through the surgery. It would have made me feel so much less alone. And so when we get feedback coming up to us of people saying, I feel so seen, or like, wow, actually, I think I might have this. So, yeah, it's so important to put content out there.
And it's important for people to take bets on women filmmakers.
Yes.
Like, we make good stuff. Give us money.
Give us money.
But like, truly, like, we make such good things. Like, take a chance on us.
And I think, you know, being women filmmakers, we tell beautiful stories, and our voices deserve to be heard as well.
Absolutely.
And I think you did a great job with this in particular too, and especially doing something so vulnerable by writing it based off of a very true story. How has that been for you after the release of it?
Oh, wow. I think like there's a couple phases to this. I was like, well, writing it didn't feel as crazy because no one sees it. You're like, oh, it's just this thing in my computer. And then when we put the Indiegogo up, the first one, I was like, oh no, everybody now knows about this. Like I was at my 10-year high school reunion and people were like asking me about my vagina. So I'm like, it is. And I think the craziest part is when you're at these screenings and then you're filming it and you finally watch and you're like, the craziest part is it's no longer your story, it's their story.
Yeah.
And everybody runs and takes from it what they want. And as much as I want to be like, oh, it's my story, and I'm like, no, it's your story now. Like, do with it what you want. And I think that's like the beauty of it. And, you know, as much as it's hard to like, it's like birthing a baby at this point. You're like, you know, I've given it my all, but you know, it's really cool to see it and then someone leave and go, you know what, that inspired me. I'm going to go write something or make art about my trauma or something I went through, or I'm a woman filmmaker and you guys really inspired me to like go out there and do it. And so as much as it's like, now I have to go on a first date and talk about my vagina to everybody I meet, it's a small price to pay.
Yeah. It doesn't seem bad, you know?
No. Honestly, yeah, it's a good vetting process now.
I mean, you know, and that's the other thing is like I said, it's a very vulnerable thing, and I think a lot of people don't talk about specifically our body parts.
No, I mean, even like in 2016, I wrote a blog post about it, and before that, I mean, my closest friends didn't know I had this. Right. I didn't tell anybody. I was so scared. There was such a shame and stigma. I used to lie when playing Never Have I Ever because I was so scared people would judge me.
Yeah.
Because it used to feel like for me like a hot knife was digging into the touch at the opening of my vagina. And when I finally did have pain-free sex and it was like pleasurable, I was like, oh, I thought everyone was lying to me. Like, because we just don't talk about it. No one says anything. And, you know, if we just had a conversation and people had an open dialogue, people wouldn't have that same, you know, journey. Hopefully, like, no one ever has to have that same journey.
Oh, or even just, like, kind of holding it in for years, having any kind of shame or guilt. And if people were able to be open to talk about it, people would be able to diagnose things a lot sooner. So kind of going off of the aspect that you were talking about, you know, that you didn't know, the way that the character is portrayed in the film, I think she plays it pretty well, especially with her friends, and you know, they're trying to talk about stuff, and she's like, "Oh yeah." You know, how was that when you were on set working with her in that regard?
Yeah, here I'll let Nancy go.
I think that Valentina Tomorrow, who plays Paige in the movie, does so well because here's the thing: is that our movie is about a very niche topic, and not everyone has experienced vaginal pain, but everyone has felt like an outsider before. And so she was able to pull from her experience of feeling like, you know, the odd one out, and pull from that and how, like, you know, it harms your relationships when you don't have the confidence to talk about these things and you don't have anyone to talk about these things with.
Right. Yeah. And so your movie is hopefully paving the way for a lot of people to be able to talk about it openly.
Yeah. And like I said, it's been really cool because we all do screenings and then people will come up to us after and say, you know, I've never told anybody about this. And, you know, sometimes we're the first people they're telling about, like, some kind of thing they went through with vaginal health or a medical gaslighting situation or something. And, you know, it's just like, I'm honored, you know, I know we're honored, like, to be those people. And it's just crazy to me that, you know, these people have never been able to talk about it openly because of so much shame, so much like stigma surrounding it. So it's really beautiful to, you know, after the screening, even though we're bombarded, we love getting bombarded because it's all these people being like, wait a minute.
I mean, this is your time too, you know. You put in the time and the legwork to create a story like this. We'd like to hear, you know, more feelings about it.
Yeah, I completely self-financed this movie.
Wow, okay.
And then we also did a couple rounds of Indiegogo donations and favors and you name it.
Of course.
And, you know, this film wouldn't be anything without the village that it took to make this film. We had an amazing cast and crew. We had an amazing support system, people that donated their time, support, resources, energy. And, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, this was my entire life savings and we made it work. And I think that's kind of the thing. If there's no chair at the table, we'll bring a damn folding chair. And that's kind of been our mentality this entire time.
Yeah, and I think that's actually pretty inspirational to hear, considering, as you know, the industry's been a little dry. And I think it's nice for other filmmakers as well as future filmmakers to know that they can actually take matters into their own hands and take care of it without having to be backed by a giant.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, we're creatives. We all want to tell stories. That's why we're here. But like, if there's a will, there's a way. And it sucks, obviously I'd love if someone handed me $2 million. If you're watching this, please no, but that would be so nice, but that's just not the reality. And, unfortunately we don't have a trust fund, so here we are being creative.
And I would just, my advice to people would also be to keep writing, because writing is essentially free. And then write your dream projects, but also write within your means. To write those kinds of things that our movie mostly takes place in a house, an apartment, a doctor's office, which we shot as a sex dungeon for free. So write within your means too, so that you can make it. Write your dream projects and write within your means. You need to have both so that you can have something attainable that you can do if no one greenlights you, and then those crazy dream projects. But it's all about the story. So in the end, even if you don't have a giant budget, you have a story and you can make it happen.
Yeah, and I think what people loved about Lady Parts was they think they're going to come into a movie and get spit vagina facts at them, and we're like, no, it's actually a story about her and her relationship with her parents and her body.
Right.
And people are like, oh my god, like I didn't even really think of it as the vagina film anymore, but I still felt like I left and felt educated because I cared about the characters, I cared about the story. And so I always say, you can write a film about, space pirates and cats in outer space and explosions and crazy stuff.
That actually is our next movie.
Yes,
Please,
vaginas in space. Vaginas in space are coming soon.
We need more vaginas in space.
Yes, yes, you're so right. But at the end of the day, if there's a story that people can relate to, if it's on a human level, if someone can relate to it, it doesn't matter if it's about vaginas, it doesn't matter if it's about space cats. I don't know why I'm thinking about space cats a lot, but But if there's a story that you can connect to on a human level, it doesn't matter. People are going to love it. So
absolutely.
At the end of the day, if you have a good story and characters, people are going to be drawn to it.
And so sort of kind of still discussing this too, the relationship with Paige and her parents. Would you say, not that you have to get too into this if you don't want to, but would you say that is close to how things went for you, this whole family affair, super? Okay.
Yeah. The only difference is I do have an older sister.
Okay.
But she was living away at that time. And for the story purpose, we thought it would be better, for the parents to be acting the way they are if it was an only child. But I was pretty much an only child at that point because, like I said, my sister was living in Boston, kind of farther away. I love my sister, nothing against her. Happy birthday to her. But I think my parents are very much like that, and it always surprises people. They're like, no, they weren't like that. I'm like, no, they were like that. They've come to so many screenings. They've been so supportive. And I think what was so important about the story is you're expecting the parents to be like, ew, gross, we don't want to talk about sex with you. And instead they're like, oh my God, why didn't you tell us? We're going to be here for you. And, and it's like familiar love. Like, that's how it should be. If you're being a supportive person in someone's life, it shouldn't matter where the pain is in their body. Right. They're in pain and you should care. And the amount of times that people walk up to my parents after screening, especially my dad, they're always so surprised. And I'm like, what? Because he's a man, he can't care that his daughter's in pain?
Right.
He's like, my daughter's in pain. I wanted to help. Like, why should that matter? And I think we talked about this in a different interview too. Like, the dad's not a bumbling idiot. Like that trope of, the sitcom dad coming in and be like, what's a vagina?
Yeah.
And no, the dad has his quirks and his silliness, but no, he's a knowledgeable man who understands anatomy and how things work. And it's a positive. I want people to leave here being like, this is how I can be a positive parent, partner, a positive relationship in someone's life that's going through something like this.
Yeah, and I think it's great that you portrayed it. I mean, obviously based off of a true person, but also that you portrayed somebody not a bumbling idiot that doesn't know, just not to feed into that trope, like you said. Yes. And so it makes this movie even more refreshing because it's already discussing topics that apparently a lot of people don't really want to see. But that's not even true either. I think a lot of people want to see it. It's just a big,
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but
Yeah, it's crazy because there's a line in it where we talk about, like, if this pain was on my shoulder, we could talk about it. I could go back to work. I could tell everybody, oh, I had this weird nerve ending thing on my shoulder. And everybody would be like, okay. But because of where it's located on my body, suddenly we're like, whoa, it's stigmatized. We have no research, underfunded. We can't talk about it. And, you just live with the pain.
I think you did a great job with adding the elements of, the comedic moments and then the really heartfelt, heartwarming moments too. And I think having portrayed the relationship with Paige and her parents is also kind of healing for a lot of people who maybe didn't have that kind of support from their family. So I think you did a great job, and I hope you're really proud. I do have another question. Having created this, and how do you feel? Let me see. I'm trying to figure out the best way to word this. What would you consider to be a success for this movie? Or do you feel like you're there?
Oh, yeah. We can both answer if you want.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
absolutely. Honestly, we have had such a wonderful reception from this. I think we've made a beautiful movie, and I'm so proud of it. I think that we will consider ourselves like a complete success once it's somewhere where everyone can see it. We want it to be accessible for everyone to see it, and so much of our cast and crew gave so much of their time and talents, and we want it to be somewhere where they can share it with everyone and that everyone can see how incredible they are.
Yeah, and like on top of that too, like this came from a place of like feeling isolated, like no one to talk to, and so I already feel like we're a success. Like, I mean, making a movie is a miracle. Yeah. Getting a movie made is a miracle. So like I feel like we've had so many successes because each time we're like, well, we filmed it. Okay, we finished post. Yes. Okay, we got into a festival. Okay, we won an award. Like, there's so many successes, and it's really nice to like celebrate all the wins too, because this is hard. I mean, if you've made a film before, it's such a hard process. And personally, for me, like getting the messages, from people that have seen the film and saying, "Oh my God, I felt so seen," or you know what, I'm gonna finally call that doctor, figure this out. To me, that's a success because, it goes beyond the film. We're changing people's lives, and we're making them like, we could change the course of somebody's life, and maybe they could live without pain, or maybe they could feel less stigmatized. And like, to me, I was like, the awards are nice. Distribution would be fantastic. I'd love to have it accessible, but like
$1 million.
$1 million, please hand it to us today. But like this, I think it's so successful because that's why we tell stories, is to relate to people and to feel things. And like the fact that so many people walked away saying, wow. And that I think itself is like something to celebrate and a huge success.
Yeah, good. And congratulations on that too. I think
Thank
you did open up the door for a lot of people to have discussions and to kind of figure out their own bodies too. And their own mental health.
Yeah. The whole gambit of.
I love the pink and like that last scene in the movie with all the pink. I was like, yes.
Yes.
It was great.
We're on theme.
Yes.
Constantly.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me today.
Oh my God, thank you. This was lovely.
Oh, good. I'm glad. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Dances with Film's journey.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you so
No
much.
problem. Thank you for making the movie. I saw the lady. I was like, yes, let's talk about vaginas.
I was like, I swear.
No, it was good.